Chris Gouser here with
Matt Howell.
On this episode of The First Round, Matt and I are going to discuss the meta-sexy horror film from Jane Schoenbrun. It is Teenage Sex and Death at Camp Miasma. After the initial confounding, surreal, and heartbreakingly earnest I Saw the TV Glow, Schoenbrun returns with a lovely homage to the 70s and 80s slashers, and I think herself. Then I'll close out the show by running down the big releases on physical media, which is always a good time. So, folks, keep your eye out for those air duct wearing killers. And Matt, let's hope we knock out another fire episode. Let's start everything off with a clip from Teenage Sex and Death at Camp Miasma. Goodbye.
I feel like there's about to be a jump scare.
Hi. I'm Billy Presley. You must be the writer-director.
Yeah, hi. You came out of nowhere. I didn't know you were in here.
I'm sorry. I saw you and I wanted to scare you. It's only fair, right?
Matt, what is Teenage Sex and Death at Camp Miasma all about?
Well, I always love these ones where I have to give the description to something that's difficult to describe. Okay, so Camp Miasma in the universe of this film is a slasher series that borrows heavily in theme from Friday the 13th and Sleepaway Camp. And the protagonist is a director who has all of one film to her name, and they have given her the opportunity to reboot the series to make it, and this is a word they use multiple times, more woke. And she's all excited about this. She's a huge horror fan, and she decides that she is going to go meet with the original final girl from the original final Camp Miasma, who has kind of disappeared off the face of the earth, played by Gillian Anderson.
Do we need to sound the alarm?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, so? I don't know. I just stopped it. I don't know if we... I don't know. In fact, Matt, that's my first statement, Matt. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Matt, how surreal do you like your horror?
I don't mind a surreal horror.
How meta?
I don't mind a surreal horror as long as it makes sense. And it seems to make sense within the rules of its own game, right?
Okay.
I think, especially towards the end, I'm like, okay, this is a movie about getting off, right? This is a film about orgasms. The little death. Right. It's exactly what the French call orgasms, is the little death. And that is the name of the slasher. And they always talk about how you can put him away for a little while, but he's always there and he's always hungry and he's going to resurface. And it's so on the nose that I was kind of rolling my eyes there as we kind of went. I think there's parts of this that I really liked. I think the scene where he's cutting his way through the counselors is fun enough, right? But
yeah. Yeah.
But overall, I think this is a little half-baked.
Yeah. I mean, like Matt said, there's some things I really liked about this, right? Anderson's Southern drawl and cougar-esque kind of mashup of Rita Hayworth and Norma Desmond. I enjoyed that. I think Hannah Einbinder is good. I think she's interesting. I thought there's some truly funny moments, particularly highlighted by like Sarah Squirm as her agent, which I liked on their phone. She's just agent. And Einbinder is just, of course, his character is just client. I like how Einbinder is in a poly relationship and her partner's partner, his name is Thor, who's just a dumb goof. I like the fact that they used actual like paintings as background shots, like not matte work, like landscape art you find like at a museum or maybe even a thrift store or something, depicting the trees in the winter in the camp. Right, I like that it references, classics slasher films of yore. And good lord, are there a lot of them? I enjoyed some of the references. Like Matt said, we mostly focus on Friday the 13th. There's a nice little Burning reference. If you haven't seen The Burning, is one is actually the better slasher films to come out of that era. I like the little gag about how Gillian Anderson's character tried out for that, or because if you know the history of that film, well, I should say particularly who came up with the idea and who wrote it and produced it, is one of the first big films for the Weinstein brothers. So that adds a little nice little kick. There's Cronenberg all over this as well, right? So what we've done here is we're taking on a tour. I think personally, man, I'm curious if you agree with me. I think you may because you're super smart. We're going on a tour of Jane Schoenbrun's youth, her affection for horror, and her, just like I guess I saw the TV Glow, and I confess I have not seen her first film, which is what that yeah, we're all going to the World's Fair. But she is basically doing these examinations on who she is as a person, how she came to be who she is. And this one we're focusing on her love of horror, but like Matt said, more specifically, her personal sexual awakening, I guess, really. And some of the stuff is interesting. Some of it I don't I don't know. I don't know if I care for. I don't care for the killer's design. I think the helmet and the killer's name and the actor portraying them, it's I like to vacillate back and forth. Like yeah, okay, I get it, but I do appreciate that we get to see Jack Haven, who returned. Or I should say, he was in. I saw the TV Glow and has since transitioned. He gets to play our killer here. So, but who's also nude a bunch, but then also in like a Laura Palmer kind of see-through costumey type thing. I don't know, Matt. It's sometimes just all feels a little bit too forced for me.
Yeah, it's a little too precious for its own good. There are things there are things that just kind of surprised me about how much I like this. Like when Einbinder's character is in the gas station and like it's going really off the rails, and she sees like characters from the movies in there, and she's like repeating the stuff back to him. I don't know why that was so. I thought that was so funny. Where she's like, "Yeah, throw in that I'm nubile too," while she's getting there. It was just, I just thought it was funny as hell. But a lot of this is, it's like, I think we've kind of said on the show that not everything has to be for us, but I guess if you expect us to engage with it, it's got to at least be, if it's not for me, you got to help me understand it and kind of meet me halfway there. And a lot of it just, like I felt like I intellectually understood what they were putting down, but I had no emotional connection to it. Like, and it was, I think it's on the filmmaker to kind of bring me along to that point. And I just don't think she was ever able to do that.
Yeah, I struggled. I remember I saw the TV Glow when we first saw it until I think maybe the last half hour of it, and everything kind of snapped into focus for me, right? And this, I think, is more, it's not as difficult a viewing experience. Like Matt said, I appreciate maybe I'm not the target audience for this, but there's just certain things that I think that transcend someone's personal story. And I think maybe that might be part of the issue, is that we're too focused on her personal story. Like Gillian Anderson's character in this film, she plays Billy Presley, like Matt said in the opening, the star of the original Camp Miasma film, trying to get her to come back for this reboot. And she isn't really given much to do here outside of serving as a vehicle for Chris's kind of sexual awakening and acceptance of who she is and how she's able to finally get to a point where she's comfortable with herself sexually. And I feel like there's a lot of interesting, potentially unmined stuff there that we could get from Anderson, but we don't really get that. There's some teases and stuff in the beginning, but she just shifts again, like I said, into this vehicle just for Einbinder, or I guess I should say Schoenbrun. Really is what it is. And there's other things too that, like the scene. So at one point we transition into the original Camp Miasma movie. We actually, they're showing it, and we actually go into that world for a little while. Respectfully, I think that runs just a little too long. I think we kind of lose track of what we're doing there. I think it just I don't know, maybe an edit here or there, cut out a minute or two. And then also too, why with the gore attacks in the Miasma film, why do we have these blood geysers? Right? That time was like the evolution of physical practical effects was like, kind of like at the high watermark where we discovered and how authentic and disturbing this stuff can look. And we eschew that for these, I don't know, what, like hyperbolic, I mean, just
Well,
exaggerated geysers of blood, which don't are a they look clearly impractical. They're too, and it's gonna sound weird, they're too watery, right? I just is it just that's her memory of that experience? Is that what it is? It just seems like almost like a disservice to the work that like Savini and all those people were doing back then. Botner, it just fantastic work that is just almost laughably
yeah.
bad.
Well, I mean, I just interpreted it as a bit of a nod to Raimi and Evil Dead and the Kool-Aid blood that he had geysering out of everywhere in those movies.
I guess I don't know, but even that stuff was more. I guess so. I don't know. It's just that the revolution of that time guides gorehounds, people like me, just horror fans to this day. That's what we want. We want the practical effects. We don't want the exaggerated CGI type stuff for the most part. So, and then I think the reveal about Little Death in the end, like how the look in her eye and how we get there, it's like Matt said it. I think, Matt, you put it this way once, though you may have been quoting something else. The film insists upon itself.
It's a Family Guy quote talking about The Godfather.
Okay. Okay. That's kind of how I feel about it. The way I look at it is that I think Jane sees herself as like a modern day David Lynch. And I'm just not so sure about that.
Yeah, right.
I'm happy. It's important to celebrate trans artists. I'm glad the film exists. I hope it helps open doors to other people and to other artists and to audience members to take Jane's work. And again, I didn't hate this. There are a lot of things that I enjoyed. I enjoyed it enough. I'm sitting at a B- right now on this. Okay. I sound, I'm sure, very negative. I think I love the homages of Friday the 13th. Out of all the horror franchises, that's always been my favorite. So I appreciated that. But I don't know if it's just a try hard or it's just she's so wrapped up in telling her own story in this environment that all the things she's illustrating to us that she loves gets kind of second shrift.
Yeah, it is. Short shrift.
So
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm with you. I mean, I agree. I'm glad she's got the opportunities, right? I'm glad that these, people in these communities who have been underserved are getting the opportunity to make their films and get things produced. But, and that's great. You can tell the story you want us to tell and all of that. But I think at the end of the day, a filmmaker does have a responsibility to try and get their audience to connect with it. And if it's for something very hyper specific or even so personal that it's hard that you kind of just throw it out there and expect people to engage it on your terms, I guess don't be surprised if it's not as effective as you maybe hoped it would be, right? I think I'm sitting on a C+ on this thing.
Okay.
I'm not writing her off as a filmmaker, but I'm hoping that she can tighten it up and maybe tell a more straightforward story. Maybe we need a Lynchian Elephant Man, something that's more, more an actual, like a beginning, middle, end. Yeah, that she can see if she can actually produce something like that.
Yeah, that would be, yeah.
Or the straight story, if that's what you want to go with instead.
Yeah, I don't know. See, I feel I'm not comfortable with that either, right? I want the artist to tell the story they want to tell. Maybe just tighten up the edges a little bit and maybe not be so self-indulgent, but I guess, yeah, that's basically what you're saying. Because I don't want something to happen like an Edgar Wright. All right, I was reading online, I was on Reddit, and somebody was saying, is The Running Man a bad movie? And people are like, yeah, yeah, it is. When you look at the stuff he created from the jump, right, just filled with energy, and just an alternate view of kind of what a film could be. So I struggle with one potentially, not that I am doing this, having any impact, but stifling the vision
Right.
of an artist, right?
No, but I don't want to stifle her vision. I'm just saying if she wants a broad audience to connect with it, she's got to learn how to meet them halfway to present what she's trying to present and get across in a way that can be digested from somebody who may not live in that space.
Yeah, I think that's probably fair. So, it's doing okay, and I mean the theater I saw it at on a Sunday afternoon was pretty packed, and it's got a very high Rotten Tomatoes score
Yeah,
too. So maybe I just don't get it.
maybe I don't. That wouldn't be the first time. My theater was actually almost completely sold out. I actually had to sit next to a stranger. I was very upset about that.
I'm sorry that happened to you, man.
It's unacceptable.
If you had a chance to see Sex and Death at Camp Miasma, shoot us an email at feedback@thefirstrun.com. We would love to hear from you. So before I delve into the physical media, Matt, I'm always curious. What was your screen unseen? Did you end up
You know
going to
what?
that
Here's
at
the
AMC?
thing. I'm such an idiot. I bought the ticket. I bought the ticket with one of my A-list tickets, and then I completely forgot it was happening because I did it like the day before, and I was like, "Oh shit, I was supposed to go to a movie," because it didn't send me any kind of reminder or anything like it usually does.
Oh, okay. I was wondering if it was It Ends, that horror road trip. Or
Yeah,
road movie.
I'm curious to see that, or Other Mommy. I would hope it would have been that. That would have been pretty exciting because I think that's gonna freak me out.
Oh, that's the
Yeah, it
Chastain
is.
one, right? I saw
Yeah.
the trailer for that. Yeah. All right, let's talk about what's coming up on physical media this upcoming Tuesday. We're into September. Well, kinda. I'll explain.
It started as writing, and right from the beginning you knew this was different. Because it was happening in small villages, market towns. And then it wasn't on the TV anymore. It was in the street outside. It was coming through your windows. It was a virus, an infection. You didn't need a doctor to tell you that. It was the blood. Or something in the blood. By the time they tried to evacuate the cities, it was already too late. The infection was everywhere. The army blockades were overrun. And that's when the exodus started. The day before the TV and radio stopped broadcasting, there were reports of infection in Paris and New York. We didn't hear anything more after that.
One of the most hotly debated 4K releases of the year, I think, is being released as a steelbook. It is our number one.
There can be only one.
And it's 28 days later. Danny Boyle's classic, not a zombie film, being released in a 4K steel. Dolby Vision HDR presentation of the film approved by Boyle. All the archival featurettes appear to be included as well. But here's the thing. He shot that like an SD video. Except for the last like 20 minutes is actually shot, I think, on 35 mil. So how great is that transfer possibly going to look? Is it really going to be worth like the $40, I am assuming, steelbook cost? I don't know. I'll wait to see how some of the reviews drop on that. Maybe they perform some type of miracle. But also that's kind of part of the film's, I don't know if charm is the right word, but that's part of the film's aesthetic. The whole point of it was that kind of raw look to it. I have the Blu-ray. I was thankful enough to be able to track one down years and years ago because it's been out of print for a very long time. And I watched it in anticipation of, I think, was Bone Temple. I went through them all again. And it's probably still my favorite of the bunch. But I don't know, Matt. What do you think? Would you be picking up 28 Days Later?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess you're right about the picture, right? I just wonder if the sound is a lot better. I mean, maybe that may be something that would pull you along if it's in some kind of Dolby remastered sound. That could be worth it.
Yeah, it does have an Atmos track on it. So maybe that'll be worth to push you over. It has deleted scenes, alternate endings, all your commentary by Boyle and Garland. All, like I said, all the archival stuff is there. All right, your number 5. And now here's the other thing, too. Okay, that is it. Like, that's the big release for September 1st. There's some couple reissue things, like they're putting out the Dirty Harry box set. Not box set, but 5-disc set. They're pushing that out again. But but nothing really interesting. So I actually don't. Last week was so massive, I had to leave a bunch of stuff off. So I'm just gonna go over the stuff I have to leave off. I had to leave off from last week.
Number 5.
Perfect Strangers, the complete Blu-ray box set, Matt, is being released. You're old enough for Perfect Strangers, right?
I remember it. Yeah, Balky.
Yeah. There you go. What a country! I haven't watched. I remember watching it in the beginning. I could not tell you a damn thing about it outside of the fact that they're two cousins, distantly removed. They live together, and that's all I remember. So yeah.
4.
John Carney's latest power ballad. I think I neglected to mention this. Director of Once. This one features Paul Rudd and one of the Jonas guys. So Rick, he's a past his prime wedding singer, Matt. He meets faded boy band star Danny during a gig. The two bond over music in a late night jam session. But when Danny turns one of Rick's songs into a hit that reignites his career, Rick sets out to reclaim the recognition he believes he deserves, even if it means risking everything he cares about. I will check it out at some point. I like Carney's films. Like I love Sing Street, right, as well. So that's one.
Get 3 coffins ready.
Huh?
A film we did for the show a while back, Whistle, is being released by Shudder on Blu-ray. This is the one where the woman gets the high school girl, Daphne Keene, is that her name? Who played Weapon X or whatever. She blows this Aztec whistle that basically draws death to you. Includes an alternative opening to the film and some making of featurettes. So that's that. And then your number 2, Matt. Am I at 2?
Well, you two lovebirds take it easy, okay?
I gotta come up with a better 2. Circle of Iron from Blu-ray Underground being released in 4K. This is the film, I believe, thought out by and mostly written by Bruce Lee prior to his passing. He wrote it with James Coburn and Oscar-winning screenwriter Sterling Silliphant, and then he passed. But it's 5 years after his death. Lee's vision would finally be realized, Matt, starring David Carradine, Christopher Lee, Roddy McDowall, and Eli Wallach. It's a cult hit that I have never seen. Are you familiar with Circle of
No,
Iron?
I'm not. I've never seen it either.
All right. Brand new audio commentary included on this one. A new interview as well on an Atmos track. I'm not seeing anything about Dolby Vision. Alternate opening included as well, and some archival features included. Though I watched a trailer of it to see, maybe this is worth checking out. There's a scene where a guy roundhouse kicks a horse and the horse drops, which I thought was interesting. Very funny. I'm hoping the horse wasn't hurt. But the trailer went like, ooh, this does not look good. But that's being released as well, Matt. And that's it.
Okay.
I'm just trying to pad out the show's runtime.
Oh, we've got it's at 24 minutes ish. Yeah.
So we're good. Meanwhile, you can check us out at thefirstrun.com. You can find archives of all the old shows. There's a little player there. Just hit play, and it'll start rifling through episodes. The report card is there as well. Mostly updated. I think I'm about 3 weeks out. I got to update it again. And then you can find us on Instagram, YouTube. I'm getting ahead of things here, Matt, aren't I? We'll still do it that way. Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and Blue Sky. Just do a search for The First Run. Eventually you'll find us. Matt and I are on Letterboxd as well. I'm at Chris Scalzo. He's at Thurston. Matt, what's up next week on the big show?
We are catching up with the Dog Stars.
Do you want to do that? That's the Ridley Scott movie that's supposed to be a bit of a mess.
Yeah, I've had the book on my shelf, been meaning to read it for forever, but I never have. So I'm okay with a post-apocalyptic fiction, but if there's something more exciting out there, I'm not sure there is.
I don't know. There's also It Ends.
Okay.
But those kids, there's that one. And then there was something else that I thought I'd ask. Oh, Coyote vs. Acme. Rescued from the depths. So
yeah, I guess out of those,
sure.
I guess
what do you have a preference?
It Ends, I think.
Yeah, you'd rather do that? Okay. Good times. And head over to Apple Podcasts. I messed everything up by going out of order. Head over to Apple Podcasts. Give us a review. It'll help other people find the show. And that'll be it for this week. Thank you as always for listening. We love you all very much. Please take care of yourselves. And we will see you again soon. I hope I referenced the stinger this week. I guess we'll find out.